My fear is that there is going to be a lost opportunity if people go about it the wrong way. Why am I saying this? I think the best way to bring about change is through the ballot. And if Gen Zs want to bring change in this country, they have to start organizing themselves. They have to put the infrastructure in place. They have to form, movements. They have to register. They have to mobilize. They have to give people IDs. They have to exert all this energy in that direction. We've got only 3 years or even less left to the ballot. There are institutions that basically are very vital in elections, like IEBC. They have to be involved. They have to, yes, like the issue of finance bill. I said, I remember, I don't know if you remember my tweet, Eric, and everyone else, in 2023, I said this thing is sumu. It's going to haunt this administration. And that was because of the housing levy and other things. And I mean, eventually it was 1 year late, but it came to pass. Now, saying when you go to things like finance bill, you have the right, and it's something that affects you immediately. So I actually supported the finance bill and basically the protests against the finance bill. You can use protests for events or things that you don't want at that particular time. But this issue of, let's remove the president, let's recall the president, let's do a referendum. Yes, okay, you will do it. You'll spend a lot of time on it. You might succeed, you might not succeed. If you succeed, another guy who behaves the same way as the past presidents will come on board. Are you going to keep on doing the same things all the time? The big problem we have is a generational issue. The people who I would even say ruled us basically have got totally different view in life. So if you want to bring a proper change, I think the best way to go about it is through the ballot. And the only way you can do that is if you start preparing now. What I can foresee, and there are a lot of things I've said basically which came to pass, is all this noise. You have this protest, you have the tear gas. The government is going to fight back. By the time you say, I'm going to remove a president from office, my friend, so many things will go bad. And even if you succeed, and for you to restart this country's economy and everything else, it will continue to hurt you. So the best way to approach this is to start early. Put some of this energy into mobilizing, organizing, go get the right candidates at every level, MCA, MPs, governors, the presidency, everywhere. And then you might not even get the presidency. You might not get anything. You might get 50 MPs, 20 MPs. It doesn't matter. That itself is a start. It's good start for change. If you succeed in changing, of course, the presidency, that's also fine. My worry is people are going to spend a lot of time about nothing, about wasting their time on how are we going. Ruto must go. We have to do this. We have to do this. Then you find out it's 2027, and then what happens?
Thank you, Mohammed.
People go to elections, and then you start again. So that's my 25 cents on this.
Thank you, Elie. Can I ask you the question? Number one, a referendum is a ballot as well. But also, number two, can all those things happen simultaneously? One, for jurisprudence, just finding out whether if you have a presidency or a legislature that's not responding to the wishes of the people, how do the people exercise that power? And I see that one would be what would come out of this particular petition in court.
I think on my part, I lost Eric. I can see that he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Can the others hear me?
I can hear him correctly, Cyprian. I don't know.
Yes, I can hear you, Eric.
Okay, so Elia, you got my question. Just answer it briefly. Can these two processes happen simultaneously? Organizing for the next election, but at the same time going to court to set and understand the procedures and testing the constitution on Article 1?
Yes, of course. Of course it will. But again, the more important one is, I think, the one I talked about. I think the court one, if it comes out successful, that's fine. But the other one cannot fail. I mean, if you don't do anything now, if you don't start a process to organize yourself, to belong to start, you need to form movements, political parties, you need to organize, you need to mobilize, you need to even fundraise, you need to do a lot of things to create a real movement that can shake the country. I mean, if you go to the court one, that's fine, but again, our courts, there's some court cases going on for 10 years. People can appeal. It will go to, Court of Appeal, and then you go to the Supreme Court. By that time, it's, you find yourself 6 months to an election. Then you find out that you have nothing, that you have not done anything. Then the same people will basically go and do their tribal, emotions, and then you find another president, in office, and then you have to go to the streets again. You can't bring change. You can review, for example, things like the finance bill. You can do an event. Event by event for protests, but you cannot. You can also protest, maybe to bring change, to remove even a president from an office. But then, what are you going to achieve after that? What will happen if you don't have these systems, your processes in place? You are not ready yourself to go into to assume office, because what it looks like now is people want change, but they don't want to go in there themselves and do that change. It's very hard to teach, an old dog new tricks. So if you think as a Kenyan youth or a Gen Z that I am going to revolt every time, and these people who are 60 or 70 or 80 years old in office, and you're going to allow them to be in office, and you will change their behavior, you might remove one, you bring in another one, it's going to be the same. The best and most sustainable change is if the Gen Zs themselves plan now to take over power through the ballot.
Okay, point made. Thank you very much, Mohammed. I want to pick up other callers. I know we're already getting into those hours where many of the people who are on the show will start dropping off, going to sleep. So I'd like to have a lot of this conversation while they're still up. Gidi, you have been queued for quite a while. Now is your chance. Please speak.